Hey guys, I'm here with wait, what's your NBA team's name?
The Fortree Brave.
I like how he had to figure that out too.
It took a second.
So I guess we're gonna bird up today because one of your players is in finals. So Terry, who we just saw on stream, and Jackson, both coincidentally who are because you couldn't track Jackson.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. So this matchup's actually pretty interesting. Just because it is like inherently in the XY's favor, just because you have the Xerneas, which matches up so well against the Zygarde, and the Yveltal, which matches up so well versus the Solgaleo. And the main thing is that Jackson's Pokemon are a lot more mobile. So once Zygarde is in, it plants its roots, it coils up, it gets the Misty Seed boost. It's not really going anywhere. So it can be really difficult for the Zygarde to reposition appropriately against the Xerneas.
Yeah, but I think Terry also has a nice matchup because we've seen the Solgaleo with the Steelium Z. And that's a really nice counter against something like a Xerneas. So Jackson also has to kind of watch out for that. I will say I think it's funny. Jackson has the bird and is not on your team. Terry is on your team but has no birds.
Whimsicott might be a bird.
Whimsicott is not a bird. It's a grass and a fairy type.
Yeah.
It's not flying.
Yeah.
Has no wings.
So the main thing that Terry has to be careful of is getting rid of the Yveltal in its timely fashion. Because he needs to be able to do it in order for the Solgaleo to beat the Xerneas. And he doesn't really have just a wipe it off the field button. So he's going to have to get a little tricky.
And like you said, having that Zygarde kind of get stuck after it uses the Misty Seed, gets the coil set up. Tapu Fini and Zygarde especially, once you can get rid of either one of those, the crux of Terry's team kind of falls apart. But he's leading from the get-go with both restricteds, has the Zygarde, has the Solgaleo, and Xerneas and Incineroar from Jackson's side of the field. So intimidate, fake out, pressure from Jackson's side. But like we said, that Solgaleo and that Xerneas, definitely not something you want to see the opposite.
Yeah, Incineroar Xerneas just a really standard go-to. It's a safe lead. Because no matter what, Terry only has one Pokemon on the team, the Solgaleo, that's really punishing it. But what Terry's lead does is it gives him a lot of flexibility. If he sees the Yveltal, he can decide to switch out the Solgaleo and mess things up with the Zygarde. In this case, what he's probably going to end up doing is getting the Zygarde out of there and trying to win the game with the Solgaleo. So now Jackson just has to be wary of that and figure out what's the best way to deal with that Solgaleo.
And for him, apparently that answer is bringing in the Landorus in place of that Incineroar, gets another Intimidate into Terry's Zygarde. So putting it at -2, again, does not kind of offer that Solgaleo thanks to that full metal body. Xerneas protecting itself on this turn, but we do know that Steelium Z Pass Protect does do at least half damage, and there we go. This is going to get cut out, so.
Okay, fair.
How are you tonight, Gavin?
I'm doing great.
So how did you get knocked out of Top Cut?
Scarf Kartana.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Words I never thought. Wait, in this format? In this economy?
I know.
Gosh, that's wild. It's
I didn't know that Kartana could afford clothes.
And, hey, you gotta look fashionable while you're taking down other people, right?
Look,
so.
I thought Kartana spent all of its money on a vest, and then it just comes in with a scarf.
It invests in stuff.
No.
Do you get it? Do you get it? Do I have to explain it to you?
Look, let's just watch Solgaleo turn into Sonic.
Are we allowed to talk about other franchises like this?
Probably not.
Oh well.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so Xerneas just a little bit over half health after that Z move, and now that coil from that Zygarde is going to put it at +1 for its attack, defense, and its accuracy.
Yeah, so right now what Jackson's kind of doing is he's really threatening that Tectonic Rage onto the Solgaleo slot. And that's going to be his major way of wiping it off the field. Well, that and plus the Incineroar. But the thing is, Landorus faster than Solgaleo, Incineroar not. So now Jackson is kind of free here to go for the Tectonic Rage and then reposition the Xerneas.
Yeah, so Xerneas is like, nah, don't want to deal with that Sunsteel Strike. Brings in Incineroar instead, so gets another Intimidate into this Zygarde is going to be at, let's see, I can't do math, -2 again. As Zygarde actually is going to switch out there. Going to bring in, I think that Tapu Fini, is going to be that Incineroar, so he gets to Intimidate now into both of Jackson's Pokemon. Puts both Incineroar and Landorus at -1. Solgaleo is still at full attack, again, thanks to that full metal body. But does go for a Protect on this turn, because like you said, the potential for that Tectonic Rage is kind of threatening here. But get the free Soy Stance. This feels really familiar.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, something that Jackson is doing super well is he's really respecting the Solgaleo, and what I mean by that is that he's not trying to set up the Xerneas until that Solgaleo is dealt with all the way, because he knows that his advantage in this matchup is the mobility, so setting up a Geomancy makes it hard to switch out the Xerneas because he can't get another one. So he's really just putting maximum pressure onto the Solgaleo, and now Terry's in a really rough spot because he already burned the Protect, and he can trade Fake Outs, but that Landorus is still a +1. That is a threat that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, that Tectonic Rage at +1. Yeah, +1 is going to be kind of scary. Especially because, like you said, Solgaleo is his best answer against Xerneas. And so Terry's going to respect that by switching out that Solgaleo, brings in that Zygarde once more to the spot. Could probably take a Tectonic Rage a little bit better. But actually, double switch out from Terry is going to be that Tapu Fini most likely, just to activate that defense, that Misty Seed on that Zygarde. Not going to matter because both of these are physical attackers. So there is that for Terry at least.
I think the big thing here is just a matter of, like, you need the Intimidate in order to be able to put that Landorus back in neutral so it's, like, somewhat dealable. And the thing is you need the Solgaleo for the Xerneas. So therefore, you kind of got to switch both of them out. Yeah. And I think that's just the realization that Terry had. And a +1 Tech Rage is going to do a lot, but Zygarde's bulky, maybe.
Complete form soon.
Yeah, this is probably going to depend on the investment that both of them have, which, if you know Landorus Zygarde counts, please let us know.
I guess we found that out.
Yeah.
Zygarde gets knocked out on this turn, so no complete form for Zygarde here, but just kind of a major Pokemon on Terry's side of the field. Not the Solgaleo, which, you know, if you're Terry, is really nice for you, because now you're kind of free to go for the side swaggers if you want, barring misses, which Terry's Tapu Fini is known to do.
That is very true.
A record 11 at Anaheim, from what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really tough spot, though, for Terry, because you do still have to deal with the Incineroar and the Landorus at full health, and your only tool to do it is the Solgaleo, but if you use up all of your Solgaleo, you're going to end up losing to the Xerneas in the back. So you're going to have to be really clever about how you play this.
So Terry bringing in that Incineroar in place of that Tapu Fini is going to put that Incineroar on Jackson's side at -2, and the Landorus back at neutral, so we're going to try to mitigate the damage as much as possible. Probably going to, actually, Jackson switching out his own Incineroar now, bringing in the Yveltal. So one of those Pokemon that's really frustrating. I remember watching your Yveltal at least. Really bulky Pokemon, tough to use. That Earthquake, though, at neutral is still going to do a lot of damage, and the Yveltal, you know, is going to come in very nicely here. Doesn't quite pick up any knockouts, though.
Yeah, Barry is able to activate more Incineroar, which does make things a little bit easier, but this is still incredibly difficult for Terry. Mainly because, yes, you do have the Trick Room, which is, like, doing a bunch for you, but the Yveltal is threatening Sucker Punch at neutral, which can do a lot of damage. And even if you get past that, you still have to deal with Jackson's Incineroar inside of Trick Room. And the thing is that Terry's Incineroar and Tapu Fini just aren't putting out the offensive pressure needed to, like, get through this team. He needs the Solgaleo to do work, and it's just hard to do when you have two mons that can KO with just staring it down.
Yep, so Solgaleo protecting itself on this turn as Incineroar on Terry's side goes for that U-turn. Gets at least a little bit of chip damage into Landorus, brings back in that Tapu Fini. We do know that it has that Heal Pulse and has the ability to kind of go for light screens as well, but Foul Play not going to connect with that Solgaleo, and Tapu Fini going to be the sole Pokemon here taking that Earthquake from Landorus. So Jackson's kind of covering his bases here and at least can get some damage onto that Tapu Fini.
Yeah, but keeping in Landorus, like, arguably doesn't get that much for you, because the Landorus right now isn't actually threatening the KO onto the Solgaleo. He's relying on the Yveltal for it. So now Jackson's kind of pressured with what move he's going to go for. It's a punch or the Foul Play. And for the first time, Jackson's in kind of like an awkward spot. This might be the hole that Terry needs to get back into this.
And Terry switching out that Solgaleo, brings in his Incineroar, puts this Landorus now at -1, and the Yveltal as well. Nature's Madness, I don't think I've seen one miss yet today, connects with that Landorus, is going to make sure that its HP is going to get cut into half, as Foul Play from that Yveltal is going to go into that, what was that Solgaleo is now that Incineroar. Doesn't do that much damage, but Earthquake is going to be able to do at least a lot more damage. Now, is a -1, but Terry has already consumed his berry and just barely misses the knockout here on that Incineroar.
I think it's kind of interesting that we're seeing Terry prioritize the Landorus over the Yveltal. Since, while the Landorus does do big damage to both of Terry's Pokemon, you can only really spam that Earthquake when, one, the Yveltal's alive, and two, Earthquake doesn't pick up the KO onto the Solgaleos. So I'm not sure why. It's an interesting decision. Like, regardless, this is going to be like a hard road back, so maybe Terry just sees something like pretty obscure here, and it's just really riding off of that. Regardless, Terry does have the fake out pressure now, and it is a matter of like how Jackson wants to play around it. I think like the safest option here is to just keep attacking, because
there's no harm
Yeah.
in doing that. Like, you can't, no matter what you do, if you switch out, you're gonna get damage here. But because Jackson's bringing in that Incineroar, I don't think we're gonna see another Earthquake. We do have the Intimidate now onto Terry's side of the field, and Jackson now has that takeout pressure for the next turn. Here, that Yveltal kind of a little bit more of a threat, I think, that Terry is gonna start to try to figure out, as Flare Blitz from the Incineroar on Terry's side of the field is gonna connect with the Landers here. Really trying to go after it, is still gonna be here. Does get knocked out because of that recoil damage. I think we might see another Nature's Madness. Does connect again. This time going to be into that Incineroar that was that Yveltal.
Yeah, but the problem is that Landorus didn't end up going down, so it's just going to be able to set up a sword stance, and what do? You just have Feeny and a Solgaleo up against two really scary cats.
This is what you do. You plan for game 2 and wonder why you went after the Landorus as much as you did, I think.
I mean, I think what ended up happening there is just Jackson kind of baited Terry really hard with the Xerneas, so Terry had to spend the first couple of turns really focusing on Xerneas that Jackson just wasn't giving up, and that really forced Terry's hand, and losing Zygarde early on is the big thing here, since while yes you do rely on the Solgaleo to beat the Xerneas, you need the Zygarde for literally everything else. So I think I'd like to see Terry just focus more so on getting the big stat drops.
Alright, so Incineroar got switched out for that Yveltal, but Sunsteel Strike from Terry, Solgaleo is going to be going first, is going to be able to pick up that knockout on that Landorus very easily here, even after that Sword Dance again putting it at +1, and Tapu Fini goes for the Heal Pulse, is going to be able to at least bring up that Solgaleo, so not quite out of it yet, does have an Incineroar still in the back, but Trick Room is now over, so Jackson does have that sort of speed advantage once again. He still has his, I think he's got his own Tapu Fini, sorry, Incineroar and
he's got his Xerneas.
And Xerneas, there we are.
I mean, the big thing is, how do you make it so that the Solgaleo
Gets knocked out?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Or
Jackson's
stays
able to
around,
knock out the Solgaleo pretty easily. It'll go down to just one foul play. But on Terry's end, it's just a matter of, you need to find a way to KO the Yveltal before the Solgaleo dies, which is, it's an interesting problem.
Alright, so Fake Out goes into that Tapu Fini, and wow, Solgaleo holds on past that foul play. Superpower, though, is going to put it at -1 in terms of defense and attack. Is going to be able to pick up the knockout on that Incineroar. Tapu Fini, did manage to get Finch the strength so that Fake Out. Xerneas is going to be able to come in, but really not much that Terry can do kind of stop either Yveltal or that Xerneas.
Yeah, this game's seen pretty over for a while now, for being honest here, but now it is just kind of a matter of just clicking the right buttons, and there really isn't too much that can really go wrong here.
Unless you click the wrong button.
Unless you click the wrong button.
You
so
never know.
You do never know. Yeah, Terry's just gonna end up forfeiting.
Yeah, so Jackson up 1 game now in this finals match. So I think, like we had said, or you had pointed out, that Zygarde getting lost so early was actually really tough, and I didn't really kind of notice it until you pointed out, but baiting the Xerneas is actually really smart, because we never saw it after it got withdrawn that one turn.
Yeah, exactly, and it made it so that Terry had to use up a lot of resources in order to just be putting out the pressure onto the Xerneas, and it made it so that he wasn't able to get his Zygarde into a good spot. I think what I'd like to see from Terry this game is a more Tapu Fini centric game plan. We saw Terry bring the Tapu Fini in the back last time, going with the flexibility of the Zygarde and the Solgaleo, but at the end of the day, I don't know if he can really justify that. And the Tapu Fini does put a lot of pressure onto a couple of key Pokemon on Jackson's team, namely you have Icy Wind threatening, honestly, really meaningful damage onto the Landorus. You have Nature's Madness for the Yveltal, and heck, you can even Heal Pulse off any damage that it can do.
Terry's Tapu Fini doesn't have Icy Wind, and we've seen all 4 moves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very supportive set, 100%.
Okay, so Heal Pulse, Light Screen,
Nature's
Madness Swagger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That makes
Terry,
sense.
so Terry's Tapu Fini is really supportive, and I think, like you had said, it would be nice to see it more centric there, because in Terry's other games, we've seen a lot of his gameplay revolve around keeping that Tapu Fini in and just connecting those Nature's Madnesses and then switching out the Pokemon beside it. But Jackson's locking in on there already. I think he brought a really good 4 into this match. Landorus, was able to set up. He was able to call correctly when Terry was not attack.
A good way to think about Jackson's game plan is, it kind of really is, you have the Xerneas, and then you have the 3 Pokemon that beat Terry's. You have 3 Pokemon that just beat Solgaleo, and that's Terry's really only real option against the Xerneas.
Yeah, I mean, the XY variant team is also like really nice because it just covers a lot of bases. It's a tougher matchup for Terry. You do get that Tapu Fini and that Solgaleo from the get-go, so no Zygarde in this lead, and Xerneas and Incineroar once more from Terry. So gets that fake out pressure again, no Intimidate into the Solgaleo, and Xerneas still in a pretty not okay spot to try to set up.
Yeah, Jackson would have to be very brave in order to try to set up here, but honestly that could just be like Terry just knowing that the Xerneas isn't a threat right now gives him a lot of room to go for a little bit of shenanigans. He does have the swagger option onto his own Solgaleo, which we have seen plenty of times before, and now that Solgaleo is really, really scary. You have to imagine that Incineroar is going to have to dedicate a fake out in here in order to stop that, either on the Solgaleo slot or the Tapu Fini slot, and that's just going to slow Jackson's momentum down to a crawl.
Oh, wait, so no fake out actually goes for Geomancy. I don't know why Jackson's laughing. I don't know if that was just like he ran out of time or not, but I guess we in this now, boys, because Xerneas is going for that Geo. Oh my goodness.
Jackson Finch is not a coward.
He doesn't flinch away from any of this stuff.
Exactly.
Hey!
Yeah, I think it might actually work out because we see the Nature's Madness go on to Incineroar, and you know what that implies.
Oh no, here we got that Steelium Z. I wonder if he goes into that Xerneas, so this is definitely just going to be game over for Jackson because, I mean...
It's going to be hard to break that Zygarde, assuming that Terry brought it.
Alright, anyway. So, now we get to sit through this animation again. What's up?
I'm good. Honestly, I think, like... I kind of like how Xerneas just kind of gets thrown into the hole. Like...
This is what was supposed to happen at Dallas, probably. Actually, well, it didn't protect, so... this is such a cute animation. It's like...
It's so much better than Lunala's.
Oh! Oh my god, that was so fast. Sorry. Yeah, so the Xerneas is a dead deer. Sorry, Bambi, wherever you may be. There goes into the U-turn.
Yeah, no, Jackson forgot to put up the deer crossing sign, so the deer just kind of ended up, it got ran into by a truck.
Oh.
Yeah, for those of you who cannot read Korean, Terry Solgaleo nickname means monster truck.
Wait, does it really?
No.
I was like, that'd be so funny. That'd be so good. I was like, Gavin, I didn't know you could read Korean. you Korea boo. Man, I don't know. I'm not going to assume that you can and can't read certain languages.
I appreciate that. All right, so now Jackson recognizes his win condition, which is the Landorus, really.
Yeah.
So now, I don't know, he can KO the Solgaleo this turn, and if he's able to get a Sword Stance up, Landorus might be able to stand a chance versus the Zygarde.
I feel like Terry would understand that, though, and try to kind of switch out that Solgaleo for later, because if you can get rid of the Landorus now, I mean, even a Zygarde or Landorus on the field, you're going to be able to at least, because, like, there's nothing stopping Jackson from clicking for a turn. Like, oh, just kidding, he's going to switch out that Yveltal. But like you said, you know, might actually go for that Sword Stance, but I would be surprised, like, if Terry just allowed his Solgaleo to go down so easily and, like, didn't try to at least save it for later.
Well, I mean, the thing is that Solgaleo's done its job. Like, the Xerneas is in a better place now, and really, that's all I really needed to do. But, switching out there, though, if Jackson gets a Sword Stance up, this might end up being a little scary.
Nope. Well, that's definitely not a Sword Stance. That's going to be our other Z move of this turn. So I guess they're just going all in here. So Tectonic Rage, most likely going into was that Solgaleo, is now that Incineroar going to be at -1. Oh no, Tapu Fini. Oh, poor Tapu Fini.
Yeah, -1 Tech Rage onto the Fini isn't the greatest use of the Z move, but.
Berry time! Oh no, it just barely misses the berry.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was a rough spot for Jackson. He needed to make plays to stay in the game. He decided that his play was going to be going for the Tech Rage onto the Fini.
Hey, and nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta go wild, and I mean, sometimes it doesn't work out.
I mean, I think that kind of makes sense, because now if you're looking at Terry's game plan, if you can get rid of Tapu Fini, you can at least stop the heal pulses from happening, you can stop light screens, you can stop the Nature's Madnesses, because those are kind of the only reason Jackson's been taking damage, you know. Nature's Madnesses been hitting every single time for some bizarre reason.
We do finally see the sword stands come out, though.
Yeah, so +1 now to Landorus as Incineroar's faked out on Terry's side. Nature's Madness finally missing for once here. That is legitimately the first time Nature's Madness has missed today.
Yeah, I do gotta kind of question Terry staying in with the Incineroar there, just because Incineroar's main utility in this matchup is going to be able to, well, is its ability to kind of spam Intimidates onto that Landorus and make it a lot less of a threat. And staying in with it means that you can't have Incineroar in the back, which is kind of, that's where its home is.
In the back?
Yeah.
For Incineroar. So both Incineroar's going to be switched out. Yveltal taking the field. And Whimsicott actually going to be the Pokemon of choice here for Terry. Well, that's a surprise here for me, actually.
Yeah, Terry realizing that, I guess from game 1, that it was really hard to deal with the Xerneas without the Zygarde. But,
I don't know if Terry can win this, actually, with, like, the Whimsicott as opposed to
yeah, no,
Zygarde.
Zygarde would have done slightly better here. I think that's a fair thing to say. But Whimsicott can do stuff.
It looks cute.
Yeah, we saw Terry's Whimsicott at Dallas like really abuse the light screen, which isn't going to be too helpful here against the Yveltal and, more importantly, the Landorus. But if Terry is able to get some big damage out of Whimsicott, which is, to be honest, asking quite a lot.
That's asking a lot from a Whimsicott, especially because Whimsicott this season has been carrying a lot of Focus Sash, and the fact that it came in on an Earthquake means that if it does have a Focus Sash, it's been broken, and this Whimsicott won't be able to take anything, including an Oblivion Wing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, for Terry here, is the Solgaleo can pretty easily win against the Landorus without the Tech Rage and the Incineroar. It's the Yveltal that's the really scary thing. So Whimsicott is in kind of a perfect position to be putting pressure onto the Yveltal, but
goes for Tailwind instead here, as Oblivion Wing is gonna take out this this Cotton Puff with easily just eating up that HP and gonna heal itself up. So it set up Tailwind. If Terry can somehow capitalize on that, he might actually be in a pretty good spot. But Flare Blitz from Incineroar gonna go down to the Yveltal as well. I mean, Yveltal takes out like such a champ.
Oh yeah. I mean, the key for Terry is just gonna be, can you KO the Yveltal with the Incineroar and the Solgaleo? And
I'm pretty sure that's a no. That's tough.
It's a tough ask, but Solgaleo is strong.
I've seen crazier things in Pokemon.
That's very true, yeah. So, I mean, the first thing for Terry is going to be a matter of calling the fake out. If he can get an idea of whether Jackson's going to switch out the Incineroar or whether he's going to be trying for the fake out, that'd be pretty helpful. Terry just opting for the safe play, though, of saying he's probably going to fake out the Incineroar foul play because, I mean,
that makes the most sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Solgaleo protecting itself on this turn, and like you said, that sort of attack from Solgaleo, from Yveltal not going to connect with Solgaleo. So Terry just kind of in a tough spot, like obviously not out of it yet, but it's a really uphill climb for him because there's not enough damage I think coming out from that Solgaleo to be able to really like scare that Yveltal. There's no more Intimidate, and you can just bring in Landorus again and just go for Earthquake.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Terry, you kind of have to wonder, should you be trying to go for the double protect or something? You can go, like, Terry does have some RNG outs here. If you get a Flare Blitz burn onto Yveltal, that's going to cut foul plays damage.
How's that like, getting a Flare Blitz burn? Yours was a very entertaining match, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, Sucker Punch, not the foul play.
Very nice. So Sucker Punch at least gonna get some damage onto that Solgaleo.
Oh!
Does go for the superpower into that Incineroar. Is gonna pick up the knockout thanks to the fact that it hasn't been intimidated. Is gonna be at -1 now for attack and defense. But Jackson can just bring in that Landorus. It's not intimidated. And he can click Earthquake and doesn't have to worry about something like, I don't know, a fake out. I mean, Yveltal can go for Oblivion Wings, it can go for Sucker Punches again, just anything to slowly chip away at the damage. And Terry's at -1 now with that Solgaleo in terms of defense.
Yeah, but I mean, I think something important to remember is that I think previously we saw Terry's Solgaleo outrun the Landorus, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what happens when your cat's on the ground as opposed to in the sky. Landorus is definitely a cat.
So, yeah, no, it is. So, I mean, if Terry can, like, call a protect or something, get a good double up into here, it's still possible, honestly. It's tough, but, like, it's definitely doable.
There's no protect there as Earthquake is going to be the faster move on the field here. It might be close for that. Oh, no, Bits. Oh, that was so close. But doesn't matter because Yveltal can still move and hit that Solgaleo. And there's that foul play, giving the game and the PC to Jackson. Very nice. Good game, guys. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, not bringing the Zygarde did make it really tough for Terry in order to be able to...
Whimsicott tried. Actually, that wasn't anything because Whimsicott set up Tailwind and Solgaleo was still slower.
Yeah, no, I think what ended up happening there was that Terry was going for the Trick Room, trying to read that Jackson would go for a Protect on the last turn of Tailwind.
Yeah, that would have been... Ooh.
No, I mean, it makes sense.
Fair.
It didn't work out, so the Earthquake went like this, and then the Yveltal hit it, and it didn't work out too well, but, I mean, you can see the justification for the idea there.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. For any of you who did, register for Collinsville. Or, I guess not. If you're going to Australia, have fun flying out there. Are you going to Australia?
No.
Okay. Miguel's going to Australia, so send your thoughts and prayers with him. Our next PC is going to be in March, first week of March? March 2nd, wow. Literally exactly a month from today. So we'll see you guys then. It will still be Moon Series, unfortunately, for those of you who are like counting down the days to Ultra. We still got one more month or so of that. 2 more months. All of February and all of March. So, are you excited?
Yeah,
Do you like Moon Series?
You know what, Moon Series has been fun, though I think a lot of people have been kind of just like, they're looking forward to Ultra Series just because, like, there aren't too many Moon events, and, like, you know that Nationals and Worlds are going to be in Ultra, so I think, like, a lot of people are kind of saving their energy for it, but Moon's been a fun format, even if it kind of has just been Sun with the Z moves. I think, like...
And then Ultra's going to be Moon with Megas, so...
Oh, and Primals!
Oh, gosh.
And Ultra Necrozma! And Mega Rayquaza!
He's more excited for that than I am, because I'm sitting here thinking of all the downtime that I'm going to have for that.
I'm not excited, I'm just terrified.
Oh, well, I'm dreading it, so I guess we're in the same boat. Anyway, guys, have a safe night. Again, if you're in the Midwest, please stay warm. And if you're in Southern California...
Please stay warm.
Yeah,
it's a chilly 55 degrees out.
Yeah. Woo! And also, please drive safe, guys. Especially if you're in Southern California and you don't know how to drive in rain. Just don't drive then. Just don't. You can't say that when you lost Harry. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. Bye.